Okay guys, we're going to start this by signing up for Onshape. So to do that, here in the document that I haven't finished writing yet, at least it's the first part, I want you to click on the Onshape link here, and if you open this up, you'll be taken to Onshape's sign up thing. Now this is absolutely free. You don't have to worry about cost or anything. It's free, which is awesome. So you put your first name, you put your last name, put your school Google email address. Don't use your personal one. Use your school's Google email address because I'm going to have to send you emails through this to your school stuff. So just use your school one. Okay. Are you a student or an educator? You guys are going to say student, school level, K through 12. Okay. You got to check the box. Blah 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 blah. And then, oh wait. So I'm going to mess with one of my students. So if you were this student and you said this student at, okay, it would let you click the get started button and move on. So there you go. So go ahead and go through the process, sign up for this, and you'll be ready for the next step. Okay, now that you've had a chance to watch the video of my buddy Drew, uh, he's over at Princeton High School, show you how to make the beam, just kind of get an introduction to Onshape. We want to start getting a little bit more comfortable with Onshape. So of course you recognize this fabulously famous picture here. Okay, so we are going to make this an Onshape. So the whole idea with graphical models is you want to go from these simple concept drawings to more advanced drawings, so the further you get down the way with your drawings, kind of the more expensive it gets and the more time that goes into it, but at the same time you get a better idea of what you could or could not be making here. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, one, I'm going to put a video link in here of me making this video so you can watch. Or two, you could go here to Documents. Okay, and now it's Onshape. It calls it Documents, I'm sorry. So we're going to Onshape. Now notice it is web-based. It should work on your Chromebooks. Going to create a document here, and I'm going to call this 1 2 1, I think it was 3 2 1 3 number 2A, which is what this one was. Okay, so just you got to give it a name. Okay, now a reminder, we have to select one of our planes with which to draw on. I like the front one. It's familiar with the XY if you did any work in Inventor. I want let's see, I need a sketch on it, so I come over here to where it says sketch. Okay, click sketch. And now all the other planes are there, and thank you to my buddy Drew, Mr. Bridges. We're going to make them go away by hitting the P key on your keyboard. I also do not like to sketch in isometric on CAD programs, so I'm going to hit the view cube here and hit front. Okay, so I need to make this particular object. Now, to make an object in CAD, I like to use the subtractive method mixed with the additive method as I need. Subtractive means you start with the biggest shape possible and you cut it down. Additive means you start with little pieces and add them all together. And if you were in my other class that I had last year, we would talk about how you really need kind of both methods sometimes to make it work, or to make it work fast, efficiently, and awesome. So let's look at the outside shape here. So I want not the 3D shape, but just the front piece of it. Okay, and the front piece we know was 4 inches long, and 3 inches tall. We'll worry about the 2 inches deep in a second. So 4 inches long, 3 inches tall. Okay, so I come over here. This is my sketch. I'm going to take a line, and I like to always start on the origin point, and I'm going to come up here, and I am new to this program as well, guys, but I can get this pretty close. Let's see, roughly about 3. Then I'm going to do roughly about 4, and I'm just using the regular click tool to close all this up. get used to using the dimension tool. It's always better to use the dimension tool. Alright, so I click here. This is the dimension tool here. Okay, I'm going to click on the bar on the side, and I wanted it to be 3, so I just type in 3 and hit enter. Okay, and then I type in the top one, pull it up a little bit, and we'll type this one as 4. Make sure that you're pulling your dimension bars up and away. You really want them to be kind of closer together, but hey, will it let me move it? Nope. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I have 3 by 4. Now, my sketch is done. This is the front face. Remember, I'm making the complete big box like I did when I was drawing it on paper. I'm going to finish the sketch. Okay, like Drew said, it's just a flat line right now. Okay, now I like to see this in the isometric view so you can see the 3D-ness of it. I need to extrude this. This is the extrude button here. Click on this button. Click on the face that you want to extrude. And now in this case, it's giving me an automatic depth of 1 inch, but I can also pull this arrow forward or back, and I can go the other way. It doesn't really matter at the moment. But I want to be specific. I want it to be 2. Okay, and I hit tab. There we go, 2. Why do I want 2? Well, because this is 2 inches deep. Okay, since we're recreating this in 3D, here we go. 2 inches deep. I'm going to click my check mark to say OK. I'm going to scroll out with my mouse here. And there I have the beginnings of this object. Okay, now what do I do? Well, we're actually going to use the same skill a couple times here. It's that extrude thing. When extrude not only makes things, it also kills things. I need to draw this front piece. It's 1 inch on the top and 2.5 inches, and then a line to join them. Okay, the trick to this is, okay, how do I get on here? Well, I sketch. All 3D pieces start with a sketch. I go back to sketch. Okay, sketch is up here. Click on sketch. Click on the front plane here, and I could do this on the back plane as well. It doesn't really matter, but this is the one that's easiest because it's there. Now let's start sketching. I'm going to make a line. Okay. I'm going to draw a line from the corner to the corner, and I'm going to come over almost 2.5, but not quite. I'm going to kind of on purpose not do quite, and then I'm going to click on this line, and then I'll complete my circle. Gotta have complete circles, kind of like a circuit for electricity. Okay. I'm not done with my sketch yet though, because I need to give my lines the proper dimension. So I'm going to click on this line, drag it up, and this one needed to be 1. Okay, let's go back and just double check. Yeah, so this was 1 here, 2.5 here, 3 there. We don't know the distance here, but I don't need to, and you'll see that in a second. So if this one is 1, I hit enter, it fixed it. This one down here, we just said was 2.5, 2.5. Okay, this one's already 3. Why? I mean, if I wanted to dimension this here, it's already 3. I didn't really need to pull the dimension out. It's being controlled by the shape of the other object. I don't need this dimension here at all either. Okay, now let's finish my sketch. But notice I can select either side of what's left of this object. So I drew what I wanted here, but now I really want to get rid of this part, right? So if we look, we need to cut out that big chunk and then another chunk in the second half. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's cut this out. We're going to use the same tool, extrude. Now it's going to ask me faces and sketch regions to extrude. I could sketch all over, I could extrude almost anything now, but I made a sketch and I want to extrude this piece here. Now look, it's trying to make it come out. Now I played with this a little bit before I made the video. I don't want to add, I want to remove. So I'm going to click remove, and it automatically bumps it back 1 inch. That happens to be what I want, but if I wanted to make this 1.5, it would do that too. But no, I don't want 1.5. I just want 1. So I'm going to There we go. Da, 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 da. Looks really good. I'm going to say click OK. There we are. Now for the last little bit that I need to cut off, I need a let's see. I could do 3 inches from the back, but what I think I'm going to do is just draw the 1.5 inch, draw the 1, and then try to make some kind of a loop here, because you have to have loops when you're doing this kind of CAD work. So I have 1.5 inch from the bottom and then 1 inch from the back. Okay, I can do that. So let's make our sketch again, because whenever you want to do something here, you got to make a sketch. So I'm going to make a sketch on this face here, just because I can, and going to make some lines. And from the bottom, well, I mean, I guess I could go this way. No, I'll do it from the bottom. Makes it easier for me. I'm going to go up about 1.5 inches or so. Oh, look at this. This is a cool little thing. If I put it here, it's giving me a little symbol showing me that it's going to attach, but as soon as I get to 1.5, it changes. And it's 1.5 because, well, the whole thing is 3, so this is exactly the halfway point. So I know that's 1.5. Well, I'm going to go ahead and draw this up another 1.5, and I'm going to come over and now that's saying it's 1, but I'm going to go a little bit more, and then I'm going to come back and close that loop. So even though I drew this line here, it created a loop here. Okay. Well, I'm not done. Need to get my dimension tool out, and this line needs to be, oh, not 21, it needs to be 1. Okay, so now all I have to do is finish my sketch, green check mark, and extrude again. This time I'm actually going to get rid of, remember I have to remove here, I'm going to get rid of the sketch that I actually made, green check mark, and I'm done. Okay, so that would be how you use, oops, now I'm doing all kind of cool stuff. That would be how you use CAD. It's a very big CAD. Oh, that CAD and use invent. Okay, so you should have just finished making this guy right here. Let's step it up about 7 notches, and we're gonna make this guy right here. So let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm actually gonna move this over here so I can see it while I work. So let's do the same thing all over again. We have to create something. We're going to document it, and this is going to be from 2.1.3. This was 4B, I believe. That's just what I'm naming it. You guys can name it really whatever you want to. Oh, we're back to here again. What do we do? Well, I want to draw on the front one, and I want to make a sketch. And I want all the other ones to go away, so I'll hit P so they go away. All right. Well, what do we have here? I need to draw this thing, and well, let's take a look at it really quick. It is 3 inches long by 1.5 inches tall and 1 inch deep. So let's extrude that 1 inch, and we'll make a box that's 3 by 1.5, and then we'll cut away some stuff. Okay. Well, we use our line tool. I guess we can make a corner rectangle. I haven't tried this on here yet, so let's try it. Okay. I need to go 3 by 1.5. You know, that's close enough. So let's use that dimension tool again up here. Okay. Use that dimension tool for the bottom, and this is the same. Okay, except this time it makes the box for us automatically, which is kind of nice. Things that make us go faster are really nice. So that's my first sketch. And I'm going to click OK. And then I want to extrude this. Now remember, this was 3 by 1.5 by 1, so I'm going to extrude it the 1 inch here. And it's already telling me that. But just to confirm, I want to, oh yes, if I turn it to isometric, that's 1 inch. Yes, that's what I want. This does not at all look like this shape yet. Okay, so actually, you know, let's just put it back over here. I'm going back and forth anyway. So if we look at this shape, I have to take out a piece that's inside half an inch and then down 1 inch. I know it's down 1 inch because this whole thing's 1.5 inches tall, and this piece right here is half an inch tall. We see that from here. So I need to go down 1 inch because, 1.5 minus half is 1. So I need to go over half, down 1, and then kind of cut out that chunk. Let's do that together. So we'll have to make a sketch on the box. Okay. That's my sketch plane. Now I'm going to draw over 1 inch or so. Nope, I'm sorry, half inch. Then I need to go down. Notice how it kind of like turns yellow a little bit down, which is kind of nice. And, oop, didn't click it right. And then I just need to come over, come on, line up there. I know it's lined up when it turned that other color. Click there. So I'm going to hit escape. And it's already recognizing my two big sections. This is great. So now I just need to dimension this. We're going to make this one exactly half an inch because we want to be as accurate as we can. A manufacturer making our parts can't make our parts if we're not making it accurate. So that's 1. There we go. That's what we need, and we're going to accept that. Now I can extrude either side here, but I want to cut this one. Okay, that would be additive. Now we're going to do subtractive, remove, and that's gone. Click OK. Yay! All right, so now we have this basic shape that matches this basic, not quite. Okay, so we have to make a rounded edge here, and we need to make 2 circles. I think I'm going to start with the circles. That's how my brain works. So let's start with some circles. This would be a lot easier if I could see this from the top, so I'm going to use the view cube and look at it from the top, and I can see that this is that big piece sticking up. And if you can even turn it a little bit if you need. So sticking up, right mouse button, base button. Okay, so go look at measurements. It's really quick here, and I have. It says that my circle is ½ inch diameter. That's what that little circle with a line through it means. And the first one's ½ an inch away from this wall, and then the next one's 1 inch away from that one. We can do that, and then this line dashed right down the middle is telling us that it's probably split right down the middle, halfway. So what do we got to do again? We got to make another sketch because we want to do something. Make a sketch. So there's our sketch plane, and I'm going to use the circle tool. Okay, and I'm going to put a circle right there and another circle right here. We go back to the dimension tools, and I'm going to click on the outside of the circle, not the inside. So I'm going to click the outside of the circle, click again, and make that 0.5, enter. Now I'll make this one 0.5 as well because they were both the same. Now I'm still in my dimension tool, and these aren't lined up. I have no clue how far apart they are. I kind of just did a wag to get it to work. So in the dimension tool, I'm going to click the center of the circle to the center of the circle. And I got really close. Look at that. And that was just a wag. So 0.9994. No, let's just make that 1. We'll be consistent with 1. We also need it to be, according to our dimension, 0.536. No, we want it to be 0.5. So you'll notice it'll move both of them over because this is tied these two together, and then you can control all of this. Well, we also need to make sure that it's evenly spaced, kind of cut in the middle. This is 1 inch here, so this needs to be ½ of an inch, or half of the 1 inch. So I'm going to click on the center of my circle, and the top line, kind of pull it over out of the way here, and 4.5. So it's too far. So let's make it 0.5. And the whole thing shifts down, and one will probably have the same thing. Okay, come on, 5. Got that 5. So there we go. All right, we wanted, guys. So now that we have our circles here, our sketch here, we finish sketch here and extrude them. So we grab our extrude tool and click our circle. Adding stuff just need to it. So if we went to an isometric view, do you want all of that? No, really don't. I want to remove it instead, and I want to remove that one as well. So whatever you do to one, do the other. If you want to do one up and one down, you'd have to do two separate extrudes. But this is good enough for us. Yay! Green check mark. All done. Lovely. So if I click the other angle here on my view cube, and I look, are we exactly the same? Nope, we're not. We need to make this rounded edge here. And when you do a rounded edge like this in CAD, computer aided design, it's called a fillet. So we have to look up here for fillet. So this is our building tools. Usually the modify tools are next to it. Chamfer fillet, F-I-L-L-E-T, not fillet like a steak, but fillet. It actually has one more L. So I'm going to select my fillet, and you'll notice I've got some cool stuff. I want to click the edge I want to fillet, and the other edge I want to fillet. But that's not right, is it? Because the fillets touch, and they didn't tell me in my design here what that was. So we're missing a dimension in the design. So I'm actually just going to take this arrow and click on this arrow and pull my mouse in until they just barely touch. Right about there. And I let go, and it tells us that it's a radius of 0.51. I'm curious if I make it a radius of 0.5, what that would be. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so I figured out what it was just by practicing and playing with it. That's why it's important if you want to manufacture a part, you give them all the absolute correct dimensions. And then I'm done with that. And there we are. And that's how you